Hola, hola, hola amigos, buenas tardes, buenas tardes, buenas tardes. Por aquí vamos a continuar con nuestro juego de Sherlock Holmes. Vamos a ver cómo nos va. A ver, cuadramos aquí y entonces dijimos que, a ver, continuemos. Que teníamos según el mapa. Ahora qué pasó, se me borró lo de... Aquí tenemos el periódico. Esto es lo del... Bueno, esto es el collar falso. Bueno, esto ya.
Nothing interesting. We must analyze all our clues, Watson.
Bueno, aquí qué pasó, yo ya... Aquí ya analizamos todo, ¿no? Se supone. Ah, carajo. No me diga más. Como no guardé, entonces... espera a ver si podemos... cargar... esto de ayer, o sea, como quien dice que no he mirado. Ya tengo los tres.
No, it is unnecessary.
Por lo que tengo todavía esto, entonces me toca... analizar otra vez esto. Carajo, bueno.
There is something written on this scalpel.
Bueno, ya...
I should clean it.
dijimos aquí, echar la agüita y con el cepillo.
I can make out WCCH. What do the initials stand for? How many hospitals are there in the Whitechapel area, Watson?
If we count public dispensaries, enough to keep us busy for an entire month. Did this scalpel come from a hospital?
Yes, as the initials WCCH engraved upon it show us. We must think on how best to deal with this. We do not have the time to investigate every hospital in Whitechapel.
Bueno.
I have cut a small piece off the rope. That should be enough.
Bueno, no, ahora con el este.
I can't do that.
Como que con este que se raspa.
A lot of black and this rope is only worn on one side.
Bueno.
This fragment of stone is very smooth, and it seems to be of a peculiar quality. I shall have to strip it. This stone appears to be... This stone is granite, covered in black paint. The fragments found in the rope and this piece of granite come from the same place.
Ahora con el dedo.
Black and damp earth under the nail. Interesting. Tooth marks. Fragments of skin. A phalanx. Fragments of skin. A phalanx. This finger wasn't cut off. It was ripped off. I must compare the samples of earth that I found.
Bite marks on this severed finger. I am afraid of the significance.
The thieves didn't get what they wanted. When they were faced with the bishop's refusal to cooperate, one of the gang shook his finger at him to indicate that he was responsible for his unfortunate state.
And the poor man, whose head was the only part of him not bound by ropes, bit the finger violently enough to sever it. An uncommonly savage act.
Watson, I am certain that when we have explained the reasons behind this sudden bestiality, we will have revealed a larger part of the mystery.
Bueno.
I must compare the sample. And if I mixed this earth with another substance, now it must all be stirred. The samples of earth taken from beneath the fingernail and from the ropes originate from the same place.
How do you know?
It took just a little water to analyze the consistency. The soil has retained its moisture, even though there hasn't been rain in London for over a week.
This soil could come from the bank of a river, or somewhere where the evaporation is slower. A mine, perhaps, or a trench.
The banks of the Thames are clay soil, unlike our samples, so we can rule that out. The nearest mines are 12 miles away, so I would rule that out also. I would therefore conclude your last theory to be nearer the mark.
A trench?
A pit. Watson, bring me your register of the London hospitals.
Studying the scalpel has given you an idea, then?
Indeed.
I'll get it. Female anatomy. I should put this book somewhere else. Hospitals and dispensaries in London. I have found my book, Holmes.
Good. Put it on the work table, will you?
Here is the section showing Whitechapel. I made several notations on these pages during our investigation into the Ripper, which might prove useful. All we need to do is to find a hospital or a public dispensary near a location where pits have been dug and black granite has been used.
It's simplicity itself. I haven't finished my analysis.
Bueno.
I need something.
Necesita algo como esto. Bueno. Entonces volvamos a echar eso ahí. Bueno, seguimos con la otra. Seguimos con la otra. Y la roja. 3 y 3.
Poison, and apparently very virulent.
Bueno, este es el resultado que habíamos dicho. Resultado del análisis de los venenos administrados al obispo de Imbrage, una sustancia que provoca una agresión potenciada cercana a la locura, muerte por parada cardíaca. Listo.
Poison. Discreet, efficient, and only detectable via a thorough post-mortem.
Have you been able to isolate the active components, Holmes?
Not with any certainty. This toxic substance surpasses my own knowledge in the field. It is without doubt the work of an expert chemist.
A chemist and a criminal.
As you say, please find my monograph on poisoners of the last 30 years.
Bueno, otra vez a buscar lo que hemos buscado ayer. Eso estaba aquí. Bueno, el de Hans Schirman.
The work table, where Holmes analyzes things.
Pero ¿qué pasó? Si lo cogí, no lo cogí, ¿sí?
According to these documents, Hans Schielmann, known as the Rat Killer, was considered the greatest specialist in chemical poison in the world.
Is he at liberty?
Happily, no. He has been held in the high-security wing of London's Westgate prison for many years now.
Then he cannot be the one who concocted the poison.
Don't dismiss him too quickly, Watson. According to Scotland Yard, the man is exceptionally intelligent. For the greatest criminals, prison is but a mere obstacle. Let's plan a little visit to see Mr. Schielmann tomorrow. I haven't finished my analysis.
Bueno, ahora qué más falta. Ah, lo que habíamos dicho ayer. Bueno. Bueno, que la cuerda haya sido esto. Que la tierra ha sido un foso. Que de un monumento pintado de negro. Dijimos también que era para dejar cosas en un foso. Que la tierra de fragmento grande procede de un monumento, de una fosa. Esto creo que era. La cuerda y el fragmento grande proceden de una tumba. La clínica está cerca de una fábrica. No, aquí la clínica Witch está cerca de la tumba.
Now I can make the right decision.
Y que teníamos que mirar lo del dispensario 4661.
The public dispensary number 4661. It's just opposite the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
Yes, Watson. The murderer with the missing finger must work in the cemetery, or at least visit it. He could have taken a rope, one of the type they use to lower the coffins into the graves. The granite is minute particles of tombstone.
And he only had to cross the road to steal a scalpel from the dispensary opposite.
Bueno. Ahora qué más vamos a hacer ahora sí. No, pero esto ya lo leímos. Ah, esto fue lo que leímos ayer. Sí. Esto ya lo leímos también. Listo. Que vimos que ese señor O'Fallon.
Nothing interesting.
Canson. Bueno, entonces. Ahora sí vamos a mirar. No, todavía no aparece nada en el mapa. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué más hay que hacer ahora?
Let us look at our deduction board, Watson.
Bueno, ya tocó que echarle un vistazo a la tabla de deducciones. Bueno, aquí esto ya estuvo, esto ya estuvo. Ah, bueno, me faltaba aquí este pedazo. El dedo. El obispo, bueno, sí, entonces esto ya, el obispo quería suicidarse, el obispo se resistió, bueno, el obispo se volvió loco porque le mordió el dedo al otro. La petaca, los hicieron beber el contenido de la petaca. El obispo quería suicidarse, el obispo se resistió, se agregó salvajemente, el obispo se volvió loco, ¿no? Sí. ¿Qué más falta? A ver. La petaca, sí. No, aquí no es. ¿Por dónde es? ¿Por dónde es? Ya se nos olvidó. A ver, ahora seguimos mirando a ver qué, por dónde puede ser. ¿Qué más? ¿Por qué otro lado nos podemos ir? Entonces el obispo, sí, se murió a sí mismo. Sí. Bueno, entonces el obispo, los asesinos hicieron beber contenido de la petaca. Sí. Falta aquí un veneno. La petaca contiene un veneno que causa locura. Entonces aquí... Listo, bueno, ahora sí.
Perfect. Well done, Watson. Our board is finished. It confirms that the bishop's murderers work for one person, who, amongst other things, possesses a very sophisticated poison. They therefore act for someone more educated than themselves. You remember Wiggins and his gang, the Baker Street irregulars?
Yes, the street urchins, whom you employ upon occasion, and Wiggins is their leader.
Yes. Well, I have hired their services again. I have instructed them to find out the address of the bishop's nephew.
I think he's here.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, my young friend, have you found the information for which the good Dr. Watson is going to pay you?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, it was easy.
Very well, I understand. Here are a few pennies.
Thanks, Dr. Watson. The man you're looking for lives near Kensington.
Does he live alone?
Yes, but he rents a room for an old lady.
Did she see you?
No, Mr. Holmes. No one saw me.
Perfect. Watson, give our young friend another shilling as a reward for his discretion.
Here we go again. But of course... I'm falling asleep, Holmes. Aren't you tired?
No, I have an exceptional constitution. I can't remember ever having been fatigued by work. Idleness, on the other hand, exhausts me completely. Go to bed, Watson. The night will be short. We leave at dawn.
Wow, this is a real adventure. It's exciting. I like it better than made-up stories. I want to know what happens next. Keep reading. I'm going to.
Bueno, será la nieta de Watson o de Holmes.
I want to listen to. My readers must excuse me if I do not describe in full detail here the terrible images which haunted me that night.
I had a sense that something extraordinary would take place, but I was scarcely prepared for the reality of it.
Bueno, sí, son las nietas de
Good
Watson,
morning,
parece.
Holmes. Did you get any rest?
I did not attempt to sleep.
Have you managed to come to any conclusions?
I think that we might follow 3 trails. We can visit Whitechapel to try to discover the identity of the murderers by making inquiries at Dispensary 4661 and at the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
The poison trail seems more important to me. We should perhaps go to Westgate Prison first to see Hans Schielmann.
Yes, and let us not forget the bishop's irascible nephew, whose address we now have, thanks to my Baker Street irregulars. I have located each place on our map of London.
Holmes, let me remind you that we still have not been officially instructed to investigate this affair.
Ah, well, we will just have to hide that small detail.
Bueno, entonces, ahora sí cogemos el mapa y entonces, como dijimos, a ver, nos vamos para Whitechapel Street o para Kensington Gardens o para prisión. No, vámonos para prisión.
Westgate Prison.
Vamos a ver, hablar con
Here we are at the famous
El
Westgate
Matarrata.
Prison, one of the oldest and surest in the kingdom.
I've heard that it is soon going to be demolished. Don't you find it strange that it still houses criminals as dangerous as Hans Schielmann?
There's nothing strange about it, Watson. The name of this prison is linked with numerous failed escape attempts. As long as it stands, the criminals will fear it.
Good morning, gentlemen. Are you expected?
No, but we wish to meet with one of your prisoners, Hans Schielmann.
I'm afraid that at the moment that is impossible. Access to the cells is controlled strictly. You can't go there without permission from the director.
Then would you be so good as to announce us? I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson.
The famous Holmes and Watson. What an honour. My name is Brighton. Frank Brighton. I'm afraid that I can't announce you. I'm not allowed to leave my post, under any circumstances. But I'm sure that the director won't refuse to see you, even without an appointment. Do you see the corridor behind the reception? Follow it to the secretary's office. You'll find him there.
Thank you, Warden Brighton. One last thing. Hans Schielmann received any visits lately?
None. And I'm sure because I've dealt with receiving visitors for several weeks now. I volunteered because it's a calm post to be in. We don't get many visitors and it gives me time to write. Just like you, Dr. Watson. I enjoy literature and the...
Very good. Thank you.
That was very impolite, Holmes. That man admires our work. You could have given him...
Another time. Let's go and meet the director of the prison.
We must see the prison director quickly.
Bueno. Por aquí, ¿qué es?
It is about the exit door.
Sí, bueno, esa es la puerta de salida.
Closed.
Cerrado.
This is the entrance to the ordinary prisoner's cell. There's no point in going there. Cleaning materials, otherwise known as a broom cupboard. Nothing of interest here. Closed. 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 Locked. I can feel a draft. This must be the access to the inside yard. Closed. Closed. Staff cloakroom. Closed.
The locker room. This is where the prisoner's things are kept.
Let us go to the secretary's office. Good morning, miss.
Oh, excuse me, I dropped off. Good morning, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We would like to talk to the director.
I'll just go and see if he can receive you.
tiredness, pale face, stiffness, I believe that the young lady is expecting a happy event.
It would seem so.
What should we do next, Holmes?
This small rack is for urgent letters to be given immediately to the director.
This charming secretary is Miss Jenny Patterson. Hot tea.
The director's office, Mr. P. Patterson. No need to go in there. Strange. The director and the secretary have the same name.
I'm delighted to meet you, Mr. Holmes. I am Paul Patterson, director of this establishment. You wish to talk to me? I hope this unexpected visit isn't to announce bad news.
No, do not worry. We are investigating an affair of the highest importance, one which could potentially affect the security of the kingdom. Therefore, it is imperative that we interview one of your prisoners, Hans Schielmann.
Hans, the rat killer? He's been in here for a long while now, and he's had no contact with the outside. How could he be involved in such an affair?
That is what we would like to find out.
And you have been commissioned by Scotland Yard?
Evidently.
Very well. I have complete confidence in you, Mr. Holmes. I will draw up a pass that you should give to Warden James in the guardroom. He will show you to the cells.
Thank you, Director.
Keep me informed of your progress. And if there is anything else, don't hesitate to let me know.
We shall certainly do so.
Miss Patterson, you have the same name as the director. Are you related?
Come, Watson. Anyone who might have made the slightest study of anthropology would have noted the similarities between the young lady and her father.
Mr. Holmes is right, I am his daughter, but he doesn't like to talk about it. I think he's afraid of being accused of favoritism.
I'm sure it was your qualities alone which secured you this position, miss.
If you must try out your powers of seduction, then what do you say about using them on the rat killer? Goodbye, miss.
Goodbye, gentlemen. Anything else, gentlemen?
No, ya nada más. Ahí ya tenemos la orden, ya. Bueno, vámonos.
Ah, you've got a pass for the high security area. It's the door at the end. Go ahead.
It is about the signing-in book. This information board is almost empty. Strange, in view of the activity in the prison. It is potassium nitrate, isn't it?
Yes. Saltpeter or whatever.
Estaban aquí jugando dominó. Bueno.
My name is Peter James, Chief Warden, and this is Deputy Warden O'Sullivan.
I imagine I will find Hans Schielmann behind these bars in the basement.
Yes, the high security cells are down there.
Is this the only access?
Yes, there was a second door at the end of the main hall, but it's been blocked up as a security measure.
Thank you, Chief Warden.
At your service. If you require further information, Warden Mackenzie will help you. He's at his post in the basement.
Bueno.
Mr. Holmes, I am a huge admirer of yours. I have followed all your cases and successes with the greatest interest.
What enthusiasm. Have you ever thought of a career in the police force?
Have I thought about it? It's my dream. And I'm going to try my chance once this establishment closes down. I'm studying hard for the examination to get into police school.
prisioneros.
Tell me about the prisoners, Warden James.
We only have a few. As you might be aware, the days of this place are numbered. Therefore, we no longer receive new prisoners. Those who are already here are among the most dangerous in London. We have 3 at the moment. Hans the Rat Killer and the Flint brothers.
The Flint brothers?
Yes, 2 rather simple-minded maniacs who detest one another despite their relation. They massacred their parents and decapitated their neighbours. It took more than 9 policemen to overpower them.
There isn't any information on the notice board. Should there be notes about duties?
Yes, there should be, but Miss Patterson hasn't put up the guards' assignments for this week yet. It's not like her. Usually she does it first thing in the morning. Without these instructions, the guard in the basement won't be changed. I would go and get them, but I don't want the director to catch me there. He's very strict. Doesn't like us wandering around when we're on duty. And it would get his daughter in trouble. He's not being very pleasant with her at the moment, and I don't want to make things worse.
How does not having the information about guard duty stop you from ensuring the watch in the basement?
Because of the system of opening the doors, Mr. Holmes. As you can see, they are equipped with a mechanical timer which answers to a code. When the timer stops, that is to say at the end of each watch, the doors block automatically and the code is reset. It is therefore impossible to open the doors without the new code.
And who has the code?
Only the guard who takes the new watch. He's the only one who can open the envelope that it's kept in. He learns it by heart and destroys the message.
Very clever. But let's look at the limits of this procedure. One false note and the system falls apart.
Me quito mi gorro.
See you later, Mr. Holmes.
Ahora sí. Ahora que más miramos.
It is the guard's guest book, perhaps for distinguished guests.
A ver qué más hay para revisar. Por aquí no.
These weapons are obviously ready to use in case of emergency.
The guards must spend long hours here.
Sí, jugando cartas.
This device must be the alarm.
La alarma. Bueno, entonces vámonos. Vámonos a hablar con Chilman.
Here's the famous high-security area.
Warden Mackenzie, at your service, sir.
Good morning, Warden. I have a pass which allows me to speak with prisoner Hans.
Very well. It is the cell at the end to your left. I'd advise you to walk in the middle of the corridor.
What do you want? You a friend of my brother, are you? That dirty rat. I'm going to have his guts for garters. I'm gonna kill my brother. But before that, I'm gonna make him eat his own eyes. Just for a laugh.
Aquí está el Chilman.
Hans Schielman, I require some information from you.
So, who do we have here? The celebrated Sherlock Holmes himself. Do you know that for all the time I have spent rotting in here, you are my first and only visitor? I think this is cause for celebration. A confrontation between two geniuses, two extraordinary minds.
I am afraid that you are not quite as great a chemist as you believe you are, Mr. Schielman. I will not say that you never were. No, it was certainly true once. But you see, while you are whiling away your days in here, it appears that someone on the outside is at the point of surpassing you, if that is not already the case.
Yes, I heard about that. A chemical poison that eats away at the flesh and provokes hysteria. I recognize talent when I see it, but it's only a matter of time before I win back my laurels. Believe me.
What can you tell me?
That depends on what you can bring to me.
Right, bueno, empecemos la información.
What do you want?
Do you know why I am treated so harshly? For my meals, I am given nothing but a hunk of bread. And even then, not just any sort.
Get to the point.
Never interrupt me! Where was I? Oh, yes, the bread. Did you know that with a little rye yeast, a pinch of moss, certain cockroach secretions, just enough light and damp, with a few other ingredients that I will keep quiet about, I succeeded in poisoning half the staff here. Unfortunately, a little something was omitted, which would have made the results fatal. Instead, it merely caused acute attacks of stress and powerful hallucinations. Even so, I got a great laugh out of watching them cry like babies when they saw their most primitive fears materializing before them.
You are a monster, Mr. Shielman.
Thank you.
It wasn't a compliment.
But of course it was! You others, you ordinary, narrow-minded people, you are afraid of anything that you cannot comprehend. You call me a monster because what you find impossible to face is just the slightest fraction of my genius. If by monster you mean someone who is nothing like you, then it is a compliment.
Bueno.
What do you need?
Very little. Just something to write with. You see, my brain races like an engine with too many thoughts. I see them crackle and explode into thousands of formulae right in front of me. What a torture not to be able to write them down. What a hell to see them vanish just as quickly as they appear to me. Just bring me something that I can write with.
That's all. That seems an easy enough request to fulfill.
But listen, I don't want a vulgar inkwell and a pigeon's feather. No, I need material fit for my talent. I want my ink pen. Bring it to me, and I will be happy to pass on to you a little of my knowledge of modern chemistry.
Where is it?
It was confiscated upon my arrival here. I suppose it might be in my locker, in the locker room. Leave me now, and don't come back without my ink pen. See you soon, Mr. Holmes.
Bueno, devolvámonos.
I'm glad to have been of service, Mr. Holmes.
Can you tell me where I might find the locker room?
In the corridor that leads to the director's office. That's where the prisoners' civilian stuff is held. But seeing the length of their sentences, they've little chance of ever getting it back.
Can you open the locker room for us? We would like to inspect Shielman's personal items.
No, Mr. Holmes. I'm not responsible for that. You will find the keys in the secretary's office.
See you later, Mr. Holmes.
Bueno, aquí ya no hay nada más para revisarnos. Bueno, ya que como cada vez que uno pasa y te toca devolverse otra vez. Bueno, aquí todavía había nada.
Miss, may we borrow the keys to the locker room?
You will need authorization from the director to open that door. If you wait a moment, then I will inform him.
We will wait, thank you.
Anything new, Mr. Holmes? Is your investigation advancing? Mr. Holmes, have you been able to get what you wanted from our lodger?
Not yet. We must first cast light upon a crucial point, and for that we require your help again.
What can I do?
We need to examine Shielman's civilian clothing.
Very well, but be extremely careful.
What do you mean?
In that madman's compartment, you will find a strange little coded case which refused point blank to open when he was incarcerated. We did try to force it, but without success.
Didn't you ask the experts?
Of course we did. Experts from Scotland Yard came to examine it, but they came to the conclusion that it was better that the case remained shut than tamper with it too much.
I see. They were afraid that some poison or other might escape if it was opened.
Exactly. Bear in mind that this man is an evil genius, a master poisoner, and that his poisons are never ordinary. Here's the key to the locker room. I give you the authorization to open it.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Miss Patterson, the guards are still waiting for you to put up the duty list. Do it as soon as possible. Without it, the changing of the guard cannot take place. Or had you forgotten?
Dry your tears, miss. I'm certain that your father didn't mean to hurt you.
Mr. Watson, I can't put up the duty list. And when he finds out, he'll be furious.
Why can't you?
It's in my locker, in the cloakroom, and I've lost the key.
Your aunt.
Say no more, Holmes. As you keep repeating, time is against us. Let's go and look at the things in the rat killer's locker.
Las llaves. Creo que no No, es ahí. A ver si hay algo nuevo por aquí. No hay nada más para examinar. Bueno.
Here is the locker of our friend, Hans, the mad scientist.
What a jumble.
A paper knife.
Abre cartas.
Blotting paper.
Papel de blanco.
This solid box must hold a precious object. Let us see.
Bueno, entonces aquí tengo, pongamos la carta y el papel secante.
Nothing of interest here. There is something interesting 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 here. This cannot be a simple coincidence.
Bueno, estos son elementos químicos: calcio, bromo, azufre e hidrógeno. Entonces, dijimos calcio. Bueno, hidrógeno. ¿Qué es sodio? Calcio. Bromo. Y la S. ¿Dónde está la S? Aquí.
Perfect.
Ya la abrimos, bueno.
What is written on that note, Holmes?
Later, Watson, later. We can give Hans his pen.
Bueno, listo. Aquí no hay nada más. Entonces vamos para donde Hans.
What a bunch of incompetents. Oh, if I was as unprofessional as that, there would be murderers running all over the town.
What's the matter? Are you a patient of Dr. Watson?
Very amusing.
I was going on about the dry cleaners in Westgate Street. They've just delivered my ceremonial uniform in the middle of my duty, when I've told them 1,000 times not to bring it until after 6 in the evening.
A ceremonial uniform? You've been promoted?
No, and that's not about to happen. No, I've been invited to a wedding. I mean, I hope to be. I'm in trouble. If the director sees that I've left my post, I'll be sacked without pay.
Give it to me, Warden Brighton. I'll take care of it for you.
Really? Thanks a lot. Here's the key to the cloakroom and that of my locker. I'm really grateful, Mr. Holmes.
What have you got in mind, Holmes? You're not doing this out of kindness, are you?
No, out of curiosity. We will be able to access the cloakroom with these keys.
Bueno. Las llaves. Este man me ha metido a toda hora ahí metiendo las narices, bueno.
Here is Brighton's locker.
Seguimos con la llave, no. Ah, bueno.
I need something.
Necesita algo, sí, el uniforme. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está el uniforme? Este no es, ¿no? No, esta porquería no es. ¿Dónde? Que no trajimos la ropa de este man, ¿dónde la dejamos? Ah, aquí está, ya la habíamos cogido. Bueno.
Bicarbonate of soda. Brighton must have an upset stomach, caused by stress, without a doubt. The name on the key is Jenny Patterson. That is interesting. Bicarbonate of soda. Brighton must have an upset stomach, caused by stress, without a doubt.
Bueno, ya. Aquí ya no hay más. Ah, bueno, tengo que sacar aquí lo de abrir el casillero de la señorita Patterson.
Let us examine Miss Patterson's locker. The lock on this box is rather sophisticated.
Incredible. Is Jenny hiding something?
Esta cosa. Bueno, entonces, a ver cómo hacemos. Esta, pongámosla aquí. Vamos a ver si nos damos maña de abrir. ¿Qué más ponemos? Bueno, entonces estas arriba, estas aquí. A ver, que hagan juego. Que nos hagan juego con el... que hay una roja. Será esta aquí. A ver, las tres irán ahí. En este lado pongamos, a ver qué ponemos. Esta. Ahí. Pero ahí debe quedar una verde. Ahí debe quedar una verde. Yo creo que la que tiene verde arriba es esta verde arriba, entonces la ponemos aquí. Listo. Ahí se va formando. Una que tenga solo verde aquí. Esta una aquí. Esta es la roja, pongámosla aquí. Y ponemos a ver qué más nos falta mover. Esto aquí. No, aquí no nos cuadra. A ver, ahí ya se nos pierde el... pongamos esta aquí. Y esa...
It's really very clever. Little Jenny is astonishing.
A ver. Ya. Esta es la carta del que le escribieron a la secretaria. A ver, querida Jenny, casémonos. ¿Qué más dan las consecuencias? Tu padre tendrá que aceptar el hecho de que estamos enamorados. Piensa en el bebé y no olvides. Te quiero. Te he escrito un poema. A ver qué tal, un buen poeta. Jerry Patterson. Tu corazón bate al son del peso de mi amor. No habrá fin para este candor. Siempre nos querremos los dos. Me inspiré en los grandes poetas chinos para escribirlo. Valor, tórtola mía, tu Frankie. Oh, carambas.
A letter from Brighton to Jenny. Barely literate.
Apparently, Jenny is carrying Brighton's child, and it seems that Jenny's father, the director, is unaware of this.
Jenny Patterson, Brian Frinton, un solo corazón con dos almas en amor eterno.
A locket, sealing the relation between Jenny and Warden Brighton. Decidedly, this boy is not a great poet.
Bueno, aquí está lo de llevarle el turno. Bueno, listo.
Here is the famous guard duty list. Interesting.
Bueno, aquí ya no hay nada más. No. Bueno, vamos a llevarle la carta a la secretaria de una vez. Vamos a...
We have found the guard duty cards, miss. If you like, I can go and discreetly give them to the guards.
Oh, thank you. You've got me out of a lot of trouble, Mr. Holmes.
Bueno, vámonos.
Sorry, Mr. Holmes, you can't go into the basement for the moment.
For what reason?
The door has locked itself automatically. We must enter a new security code.
Do it, then.
Miss Patterson hasn't put up the guard duty list yet. Without that information, we don't know who's authorised to take note of the new code.
So Mackenzie is locked in the high security zone.
Yes, but don't worry about him. He's trained for this sort of dysfunction.
Why not ask the director to take note of the code and open the door?
He isn't allowed to, and I doubt that he would run the risk of going against the orders of the administration centre. Anyway, the bars in the high security section are joined to the alarm system, which is in that room. We only need to sound it to unblock, but you see we can't do that now.
We'll try to find the duty list, Warden James.
We have found Chief Warden James's duty list.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Let's see. O'Sullivan, it's you who takes over from Mackenzie. Take note of the code, please, and unblock the door.
At once, Chief. Ah, Mr. Holmes, could I ask you for a favour?
Please do.
I think I can say on behalf of all the staff that we would be honoured if you would care to write something in our guest book.
With pleasure, O'Sullivan.
Le está poniendo el autógrafo.
You seem worn out, O'Sullivan. A good night's sleep would do you good.
A good night's sleep would do me good. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Is something worrying you?
As you know, Westgate Prison will soon be demolished, and I'm spending most of my nights studying for my exam to join the police. You understand, I have to think about my future. So sleep isn't a priority at the moment.
Scotland Yard is always looking for young, competent and motivated men. Would a letter of recommendation from me allow you to get some sleep?
What? A letter from Mr. Sherlock Holmes, recommending me for Scotland Yard? Are you quite serious?
Completely serious, my young friend. May I use this writing paper? The one on your desk.
1,000 thanks, Mr. Holmes. 1,000 thanks.
It is addressed to Inspector Baines, a good friend of mine. There's no need to remind you that it must be opened only by the person to whom it is addressed.
Yes, of course. I'll give it to him personally. Thank you again, Mr. Holmes.
Bueno.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Well,
You have what you wanted, your precious pen.
You seem annoyed, Mr. Holmes. I would even go so far as to say terribly worried.
Why should you care, Mr. Shielman? Let's talk about that poison.
I am not talking about you in the grip of natural emotions found in ordinary people who are confronted by the inexplicable. But as for Mr. Holmes, you are embarrassed, aren't you? Are you hiding something?
That is enough, Shielman.
You have kept your word. Therefore, I will keep mine. At this moment, the poison which so interests you isn't finished yet. Its maker is encountering great difficulties in attaining the desired results.
What is the end result?
Now, Mr. Holmes, the end result of any science, as Descartes once said, to become the master and owner of nature. Here we are talking about human nature, of course. And the creator's problem isn't so much the mixture as the durability of his creation.
What do you mean?
You see, this poison was made using rare but very volatile short-living compounds, which means that it is only possible to produce small quantities, which most importantly do not keep for a long time. Conceiving such a product in a laboratory especially built for the purpose could be achieved by any good chemist. But recopying this alchemy on another scale and keeping it ready at any moment, observing the particular conservation and storing conditions that a substance of this type requires, well, that would need a genius. I doubt if the creator of this mixture would be capable.
And you would be, of course.
Of course.
Luckily, you are going to spend the rest of your life in prison.
Luck is cyclical. It always comes around again, sooner or later. As far as I am concerned, I have the feeling that the cycle is going to be very short.
Holmes, it sounds to me as though this Shielman is implying that an escape attempt will be made.
Yes, we must go and warn the director.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Bueno, aquí ya no hay nada más para mirar, no, porque como hay que mirar cosas nuevas. Vamos corriendo ante el alcalde a decirle que el otro como que se va a volar.
It is out of the question that your bastard is named Patterson. Very well. You refuse to reveal the father to me? Well, then go and join him. I'm not stopping you.
I can't.
Director, you will have to postpone this small family reunion. We believe that a serious scheme is afoot. We must act without delay.
You're not thinking of...
Yes. Shielman's words leave no room for doubt. It seems that he is planning an escape attempt. We strongly advise you to search his cell.
Do you really believe that he's hiding something? Because I must make an official report and have a legitimate reason for doing a search.
Director, if this prison is still in operation, it is solely because of its reputation. Think of the consequences of an escape. It would be closed at once. And what post do you imagine would be offered to the person deemed responsible?
You're right. No one will escape from Westgate under Patterson. I will order an immediate search of Mr. Shielman's cell.
Chief Warden James reporting. The search of prisoner Hans Shielman's cell has been carried out. No suspicious items were found.
Thank you, Chief James. I feel better now. Without wishing to offend you, Mr. Holmes, I am glad that you were mistaken.
If I'm not mistaken, we've nothing more to do here. Shall we go, Holmes?
There's just one more thing for me to see, Watson.
What's that?
Mr. Holmes, sorry to interrupt you, but Miss Jenny wishes to see you alone. She's waiting for you in her office.
This, Watson.
How did you know?
Wait for me in the guard's room. I won't be long.
What an extraordinary gentleman that Sherlock Holmes is. You must have had lots of adventures with him.
Oh, yes, dozens.
Thought he was infallible, but there wasn't anything out of the way in the rat killer's cell. Could he have been mistaken?
I must admit...
Warden Brighton, in my office immediately. That's an order.
The director seems furious.
Yes, it must be important for him to order Brighton to leave his post.
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Did you hear that?
Yes, that's not normal. I've never heard Flint shout like that.
But why doesn't O'Sullivan sound the alarm?
Follow me, Mackenzie. Let's go and have a look.
I'll come with you.
No, Dr. Watson, you're not allowed in. Wait for me here.
Very well.
Hey, but the grill is blocked, Chief.
We've been locked in. And that smoke, it's coming from below. O'Sullivan, can you hear us?
Sully, are you alive? Answer us, Sully.
What's going on? Can I help you?
Sound the alarm in the guard's room. That should unblock the door. Be quick. O'Sullivan might be in danger.
It doesn't work.
Cards por aquí.
O'Sullivan, can you hear me? O'Sullivan, answer me.
Yes, I'm here. Quick, get me out of here. The Flints have escaped, and they are fighting like dogs. Help!
It's a catastrophe. Locked. Locked.
Hey, what are you waiting for to sound the alarm, Doctor?
It's impossible. It's been damaged. I'll run and warn the director.
No, Doctor. Our priority is to save O'Sullivan. Go ahead through the visitors' corridor and see if he answers your call.
Very well.
Take the keys. They're in our room.
Bueno, aquí a las llaves.
Yes, I'm here. Quick, get me out of here. The Flints have escaped, and they are fighting like dogs. Help!
Espere las llaves.
I've got the keys, Doctor. Thank you.
Follow me, Watson. We must repair the alarm.
Finally. There you are, Holmes.
I'm going to turn on the system. Watson, you make sure of the contact.
Oh, santo
I hope
cielo.
that this isn't dangerous.
Bueno, vamos a ver si podemos pasarlas de one. Anda la osa. Anda la osa. Ah, buen macabía. No, no alcancé. No me deja. A ver si podemos. No, no. Oh. No, es que... A ver si puedo echar para adelante, para atrás y... Bueno. No, mejor dicho, esto estaba berraco para pasar, a ver. No. Ay.
I'm going to turn on the system. Watson, you make sure of the contact.
I hope that this isn't dangerous.
Al fin.
It works.
Perfect.
It's open. Let's go down.
Be careful. From what your colleague said, the flints are out.
We are trained for this sort of situation. And we're armed.
Come and help us, Watson.
Everything is back to normal. Thank you for your help, gentlemen.
It was a pleasure.
But where is O'Sullivan?
He's no longer here. He must have gone out through the visitor's entrance.
Yes, and he must be pleased to have gotten out of the basement.
Good. We must now check all the cells. It's the procedure in case of an alarm.
We'll come and help you.
You are evidently fond of wasting time, my dear fellow. Rejoin me at the reception when you've finished.
The grate is open. This is alarming. He's fine where he is, under the cover, still.
How can he sleep with all this noise?
I'll admit it's not normal. Perhaps the smoke has poisoned him. I had better take a look.
Be careful, Doctor. He is dangerous.
O'Sullivan!
It's impossible. He was with us only a few moments ago. Or else...
Or else it wasn't O'Sullivan.
My God, he's escaped. The rat killer has escaped.
Bueno, la bella durmiente. Uy. Bueno, antes de salir...
Ah, Holmes, there you are. Hans has escaped. I fear that this inquiry is a bitter defeat for us.
Not at all, my dear fellow. Quite the contrary. Follow me.
Why the devil have you brought me behind the prison?
We have an appointment, Watson. Look who is waiting for us.
Shielman! I'll go back and alert the guards.
Calm down. He's harmless.
But what is he doing here? Why hasn't he run away?
Because I asked him not to.
Are you telling me that you helped him to escape?
Quite so, as he wouldn't have been able to do so alone.
But how? And why? He's a dangerous madman. Holmes, you've made me an accomplice in this escape. You owe me some explanation.
And you will have them. But my priority for the moment is to remove our new friend to a safe place. I won't be long, but I must go alone. I'll rejoin you later. Just give me your next destination.
Very well. I suppose you know what you're doing.
How could you doubt it? Here, take the notes. They will help you when you write up the account of our visit to Westgate. So, where do I find you?
The next step of our investigation should take place in the Whitechapel area.
Good. Go then, and I'll rejoin you there.
¿Cómo ayudó a Hannah? Son tan extraordinarias que me veo en la necesidad de transcribir palabra por palabra la conversación que tuvimos después sobre este asunto. Noté impaciencia en la mirada de mi amigo. Sin embargo, tardó en revelarme los detalles de su excepcional logro. Comenzó hablándome de la pluma estilográfica de Hans Schillmann. Esto es lo que me dijo. La clave de la fuga fue la pluma estilográfica de Hans Schillmann. Descubrí una nota en la taquilla de Schillmann que puede citar de memoria. Quien tenga la audacia suficiente para abrir esto debería saber que hay un par de gotas de mi obra maestra mezcladas en el depósito de tinta de la pluma. Si está usted leyendo esta nota, me encuentro en una situación comprometida. Sepa que mi tinta especial anula temporalmente la voluntad de quien la toque. Hay un margen de unos cuantos segundos para modelar la voluntad de la víctima. O sea, mira, mi genio, use este dato para sacarme de la embarazosa situación en la que sin duda me encuentro. Schillmann había dejado este instrumento para su futura huida dentro de una caja cerrada con una intrincada combinación. De este modo podía estar seguro de que el personal de la prisión no daría con ello y que solo lo descubriría una amistad bien informada. Al darme cuenta decidí seguirle el juego, pero con trampa. Le ayudaría a escapar, pero también lo mantendría bajo control usando su creación contra él. Permití a Schillmann comenzar el juego haciéndole entrega de la pluma y luego empecé a mover mis peones. Mi primera jugada fue persuadir al alcaide de que era necesario registrar la celda. De ese modo pasé la pelota al tejado de Schillmann, brindándole la ocasión con el guardia James. No la malgastó, impregnó los barrotes de la celda con la tinta envenenada y James, con las manos contaminadas, cayó bajo su control durante unos segundos. Hans discretamente ordenó a James entregarle las llaves. La pelota volvió a estar en mi tejado. Ahora yo tenía que averiguar el modo de neutralizar a Sullivan, que vigilaba el sótano, tal como descubrimos cuando nos dimos con la hoja de turno de la señorita Patterson. Debo decir que el joven me ayudó enormemente pidiéndome firmar el libro de visitas de la cárcel. Absorbido por el relato, reproduje mentalmente la cronología de los acontecimientos. Reparé que Holmes ya había firmado el libro de visitas antes de darle su pluma a Schillmann. Me contestó molesto. Exacto, lo había anticipado y gracias a eso pude ir un paso por delante en mi juego con Schillmann. Yo lideraba la carrera, mientras él pensaba justo lo contrario. Schillmann no sospechaba que yo ya había usado su poción y pensaba que pillar dormido a O'Sullivan era un golpe de suerte. Por eso no sospechó de la carta de recomendación que encontró en el bolsillo del guardia. A continuación, Holmes volvió al punto en el que había interrumpido su relato, para subrayar la falta de pertenencia de mi apunte. A ver, pero no venda huevos antes de tener gallina, Watson. Permítame continuar. Entonces, con solo tocar la tinta fresca de la página del libro de visitas, O'Sullivan estaba bajo mi control. Le sugerí un estado de sopor intenso, pero no le ordené hacer nada de inmediato. Con eso bastó para que no pudiera resistirse a echar una siesta en su turno. Más tarde, tras el cambio de guardia, Sherman usó la llave para salir de su celda. Golpeó en la cabeza a O'Sullivan mientras éste dormía y cambió su uniforme de preso por el del guardia. Luego levantó una pantalla de humo con los ingredientes que yo le había proporcionado: azúcar de la bandeja de té de la señorita Patterson, bicarbonato sódico de Brighton, nitrato de potasio de la sala de guardias y azufre de unas cuantas cerillas. Volvió a usar las llaves para dejar libre a los hermanos Flynn. Los dos rufianes se saltaron mutuamente a la yugular y armaron un revuelo de mucho cuidado. Así creó la distracción necesaria para salir de la zona máxima de seguridad, y es ahí donde es cuando usted entró en juego, Watson. Pensando que ayudaba a Sullivan, permitió que Hans Sherman superara la primera reja del pasillo anexo lanzándole las llaves. Yo por mi parte abrí la segunda volviendo a activar la alarma. A la vista de la explicación de Holmes, comencé a vislumbrar mi actuación durante este episodio desde un ángulo muy distinto. Me inquietaba que me hubiera usado sin mi conocimiento de la duplicidad de mis actos. Interrumpí su monólogo para referirme a los guardias, que no eran conscientes de lo que estaba ocurriendo y se afanaban en contener a los hermanos Flynn. Holmes prosiguió: exacto, así que Sherman solo tenía ya un obstáculo por delante: Brighton, el guardia de la recepción de la entrada del edificio. Volví a interrumpirlo, pero el propio alcaide lo llamó insistentemente. Holmes, ¿no querrá hacerme creer que fue cómplice de la fuga? Por supuesto que no. Yo provoqué la ira del alcaide hacia Brighton. Invadido por la impaciencia, no podía dejar de preguntarme cómo descubrí que Janie Patterson y Brighton eran amantes. También sabía que el alcaide no tenía ni idea de esta aventura y que seguramente se enfurecería si se enterase. Le pregunté si ese era el motivo por el que también la señorita Patterson acudió. Si ella sabía que había encontrado la lista de turnos de vigilancia en su casillero, así que era consciente de que conocía su aventura con Brighton. Quería asegurarse de que yo no soltara prenda. Le hice notar que había sido muy desconsiderado de su parte contarle todo al alcaide, recordándole su promesa a la joven. Contestó con cierta hipocresía. Yo no dije nada, me limité a dejar las cartas de los amantes con la correspondencia urgente del despacho de la secretaria, sabiendo que así la recibiría en unos minutos y al leerlas se enfurecería. El alcaide gritó a Brighton que corrió al despacho de la secretaria. Ya no había obstáculo alguno que separase a Sherman de la entrada. Entonces me saltó otra duda de gran calado. ¿Por qué no se limitó a huir una vez afuera? Porque espero, la respuesta de mi camarada no me defraudó. Elemental, mi querido Watson. Si no huyó, fue gracias a ese paso por delante, ya que he mencionado que me brindó el tiempo suficiente para escribir la carta de recomendación para O'Sullivan con la pluma envenenada. Estaba en el bolsillo del uniforme y Sherman no pudo resistirse a leerla cuando la encontró, pero ¿qué ponía en esa carta? No demasiado, solo enhorabuena por la fuga, espéreme aquí. Me quedé atónito. Y es así como tuvo lugar la primera y única fuga de la prisión más inexpugnable del reino. Un escenario que sin duda será objeto de estudios policiales durante mucho tiempo como una de las huidas más extraordinarias en la historia de las cárceles contemporáneas.
Here we are in the heart of Whitechapel. Keep an eye on your wallet, Holmes. This area is the highest for pickpockets in all of the kingdom.
Don't worry about my wallet, Watson. It would be easier to move Big Ben than to steal it from me.
Or to borrow a shilling from you.
Amusing, Watson. Really very amusing. Can we move on to more serious matters?
I'm listening.
Got a shilling, Gov. There's nothing left at all. I have to close. Oh, what misery.
No, it is unnecessary.
You ain't from round here. You shouldn't stay here. It ain't healthy.
Like everyone else. They'll only hire the first one anyway.
Todas las viejitas se parecen.
Misery is a terrible thing.
Here's the public dispensary that we're looking for.
I'm starving. Help me, for pity's sake.
Bueno, aquí estamos en el...
Like all the sick lying here, this person is very quiet.
Not surprising, Holmes, this person is too weak. She's obviously suffering from malnutrition, and for more than a few weeks now.
Bueno, aquí no cogemos nada. Aquí tampoco. Está fresco como una lechuga.
Like all the sick lying here, this person is very quiet.
Not surprising, Holmes, this person is too weak. She's obviously suffering from malnutrition, and for more than a few weeks now.
Like all the sick lying here, this person is very quiet.
Not surprising, Holmes, this person is too weak. She's obviously suffering from malnutrition, and for more than a few weeks now.
This stove is hardly working. That would explain the damp around here.
Incredible. My colleague could at least keep a good fire going for his patients. Good day. Please excuse us. Oh, Grant, is it you?
Yes. But wait a moment. What, sir? It's been years. Since the Faculty of Medicine, if my memory serves me right.
Yes, we were young and ambitious. I didn't expect to find you here. I thought you had gone to America.
No. I find that I prefer the filth here, amputating gangrenous legs.
Ah.
I'm joking, Watson. Unfortunately, I was unable to leave for Washington. I had to give up surgery. So instead, I crouched down in this rat hole, rubbing shoulders with the world's misery.
Grant, treating those in need is a noble calling. You underestimate the importance of your work.
If you say so. It's true that in the beginning I felt as you do, but as time goes by, the more this cursed area seems like hell. You think that nothing can get worse, and the next day you see that it can. Now famine has hit these poor wretches.
One can't always do as one might prefer when one is a doctor.
Grant, I'd like to introduce you to Sherlock Holmes.
Pleased to meet you. Well, no one comes here by chance, therefore I imagine that you need something in particular. How can I help you?
Vamos a mostrar el bisturí.
Dr. Grant, we are in possession of a scalpel which was found in an unusual location. Does it come from your dispensary, as we believe?
From its mark, I'd say it was stolen from us. A lot of things disappear from here, you understand? Life is hard in Whitechapel. When the staff find a way of adding to their salary, they rarely hesitate to do so.
Thank you, Doctor. Farewell, Doctor.
See you soon, perhaps. And take care of yourself.
Bueno. Vamos.
A circulating soup kitchen.
I'm starving. Help me, for pity's sake.
Todos se parecen. El alcalde.
Leave me alone.
Sorry, the market is closed. There's no more produce.
It's the last bread shop open in the area.
Even here, decidedly the poor people have been abandoned to their fate.
Buy my flowers, my lord, for your dear departed.
Cemetery was the very image of Whitechapel. Sinister, frightening, and ill-kept. A terrible place for one's final rest.
At least hunger no longer gnaws at them. Impossible to open it. Let us see if the elements analysed in Baker Street and this cemetery have something in common. This rope is only worn on one side. This rope is only worn on one side. The rope used to tie up the Bishop of Knightsbridge came from this cemetery. It is only worn on the one side because it is used to lower coffins into graves.
Gracias al reparto de 19 de septiembre, gracias a la generosidad del príncipe de Walt White, se va a organizar un nuevo reparto de sopa en la zona de Whitechapel. Este bono es válido para una comida el 19 de septiembre en cualquier zona de distribución. Kurtz, no olvide recoger las herramientas del cementerio y esta vez no llegues tarde. Grape up. Oh,
A leaflet for the soup kitchen. This leaflet is dated for the day after tomorrow. The tickets for the soup kitchen are given out on the same day. Only somebody who works there could have written on it.
Bueno, entonces, ¿dónde vamos?
Let us see if the elements analysed in Baker Street and this cemetery have something in common. Black and damp earth. Black and damp earth. Earth freshly turned over, still damp. This dark, damp earth is the same type as that which was found at the Bishop of Knightsbridge's home.
It came from a grave, then. What a lovely thought.
This must be the gravedigger's cabin.
Well, judging by the state of this place, they don't work very often.
Let us see if the elements analysed in Baker Street and this cemetery have something in common. Granite. Granite. These stones are of the same granite. Black paint. The same black paint covers these stones. This black painted stone is identical to the fragments found in the rope which we analysed at Baker Street and in the footprints of the Bishop of Knightsbridge's murderers. Everything coincides. The fragments of granite at the Bishop's home came from the tombstones of this cemetery,
as well as the rope that was used to restrain the poor man. One of those used to lower the coffins.
I can think of only two reasons why anyone should happen to spend a great deal of time in the cemetery. Either he is at rest here, or he works here. At least one of the bishop's murderers is employed here.
A shame. If he was at rest here, it would have made our job easier. Holmes, the man from the soup kitchen isn't only in voluntary service. Look.
A money game.
Oi, oi, giving out free soup after mass, right here. Don't hesitate. Come get yours. All thanks to Prince Woodville's kind generosity. Ticket for a hot bowl of bacon soup.
Excuse me, my good fellow.
You don't like me, do you?
We're not here for the soup, we're merely passing through. But I would like to commend you for your good charity.
It's the Prince of Woodville who's the charity. All I'm doing is filling the bowls. For the first time ever in this area, someone's thinking of the poor people. Look around. At every street corner, you'll find someone giving out soup just like me. I grew up here, and I can promise you, it's the first time the toffs have thought about us.
And no one tries to take advantage of this?
No, mister, that's not possible. You have to exchange a ticket against a bowl. The tickets have the day's date on it, and I'll hand it out after mass. That way no one can cheat. A bowl of good bacon soup isn't for you, gentlemen.
We're looking for two people called Grape Ale and Kurtz. Do you know them?
Can't you see I'm giving out soup? You again. You can't have any soup, you're too rich. It's for the poor, not the toffs.
And what would you say to relieving two toffs of their wallets by giving them a chance at price?
With great pleasure. What do you want to bet?
Your ring against my friend's superb silver watch.
Holmes! I inherited this watch from my brother. It has a great sentimental value.
Watson, show your watch to our friend here.
Done! Make yourselves at home. All right, mister. First who gets 36 points wins.
¡Eh! Ah, no, el voluntario perdió. Ja. Ups. Tres 31. Ups.
Without success, Holmes.
Uf, me va ganando el voluntario. Bueno, vamos emparejados. Ah, de haber guardado. Bueno. Oh.
Without success, Holmes.
Uy, a ese man le faltan 3. Oh.
Without success, Holmes.
No llevo ceros. Está reca la jugada, oiga.
Without success, Holmes.
Perfect.
Aren't you going to leave me alone? Can't you see I'm busy?
We will.
Hey, not so fast. We'll play a game.
Out of the question. You have lost. You owe me your ring.
Oh, it means a lot to me, this ring. My dad gave it me before he died. He choked on his own glass eye. My mum didn't get over the shock of it, but she killed herself. I smashed her ring open with a wooden leg. And she'd only just heard that my sister, who's a prostitute, had caught an embarrassing disease that made all her hair fall out. And worse, our dog got run over when he...
As this ring holds such sentimental value for you, I will allow you to keep it. What would you say to exchanging that against some information about Grape Ape? That seems like a fair deal, don't you think?
Grape Ape works with us. He usually deals with the tickets, but we haven't seen him for a few days.
Where is he usually to be found?
The last time I saw him, he was with his mates from the dispensary, them that deal with the mall. Now that's all I know.
It is quite good enough. Keep your ring, my good man, as a souvenir of your poor father.
A souvenir of my dad, my mum, my sister, and my dog.
One further thing. You said that Grape Ape's friends work at the mall. Which mall?
the morgue at the dispensary. I must say, they got funny job. They wash the dead, dress them, cut their hair. They clean the blood off the floor, chase the rats, stamp on the cockroaches. Mister, I can tell you, I prefer giving out soup.
There isn't a certain Kurtz amongst the employees.
Listen, we didn't play for info about the whole city. I'm not telling you anything else.
The dispensary has got its own morgue. Interesting.
Well, yeah, I just told you so. It's the one that all the undertakers prefer. Think about it. It's just next to the cemetery.
Thank you, Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, mister.
Bueno, entremos atrás aquí.
How can I help you?
Tell me, Doctor, do you have a morgue in your dispensary?
Yes, it is the busiest place in the building.
We would like to see it.
The door at the far end. The one with the unpleasant smell.
Very good. Farewell, Doctor.
See you soon, perhaps. And take care of yourself.
Look, Holmes, a list of the recently dead. How sad.
I see names that have something in common.
Bueno, lista de fallecimientos recientes de la morgue del cementerio. Sarah Ferguson, de 56 años, murió de malnutrición. Oliver Boxall, 14 años, murió de malnutrición. David Levy, de 45 años, murió de malnutrición. Sally Petticoat, 17 años. John Hamilton, 19 años, misma causa de muerte, suicidio por envenenamiento. Serán enterrados en la misma zona del cementerio. Iban a casarse. James Barnaby, 32 años, asesinado, 23 puñaladas. Harry Copperfield, 65 años, murió de cansancio y malnutrición.
I understand now why my colleague keeps quiet about his morgue. This place is a real mess.
Concentrate, Watson. We must look for clues about Grape Ape's friends.
Bueno, por aquí no hay nada, por aquí tampoco. Tampoco.
Look at the state of the instruments. They've probably never been cleaned.
Bueno, cojamos las tijeras.
A small metal stem. This is Kurtz's overall, so he really does work at the morgue. Strange that he left his overall here.
Holmes, this is Kurtz. We've just found one of the Bishop of Knightsbridge's murderers.
Perfect.
Un mapa, oh carajo. Bueno, el cobertizo parece.
2 keys.
Well, well, this Kurtz was carrying a lot of things.
Pero aquí no hay nada más, ¿no? No, bueno, aquí dijimos que tampoco. Bueno, vámonos.
Perfect.
Esta varilla aquí. Está por aquí, no. Ah, ya.
It's open. This shovel belongs to the cemetery workers. Here, this hut is on the map. Let us search it from top to bottom, Watson.
Oh, what a jungle!
Nota a todos los empleados. Hay que derribar el árbol de los amantes para hacer sitio a otra tumba. Si la hambruna no acaba, vamos a tener mucha clientela. Jefe Pelón.
How is it that there is no room in this cemetery?
Impossible to open it. Look, this chest has been nailed to the floor. This box has been placed so that no one can move or open it. Look, this chest has been nailed to the floor. Look, this chest has been nailed to the floor. Impossible to open it.
Vamos a ver qué tenemos.
Bags filled with nails. There are a lot of them. Well, really.
I see a large crack. I'll need something thin.
Bags filled with nails. There are a lot of them. Well, really.
I can see a large crack. I'll need something thin. A hole was drilled a short while ago. There is a sack inside this hole. Let us see what is inside it.
Valuable objects. But what are they doing here?
Quería hacer lo que me pediste, pero ocupo todo, así que he cerrado el cofre y he escondido el resto con Romeo y Julieta, los recién llegados. Carachas.
We are making headway. How do we know what this means?
This message confirms that we are on the right track.
Bueno, aquí creo que no hay nada más por hacer. El árbol de los enamorados. ¿Cuál será el árbol de los enamorados? Por aquí. Ah, aquí.
Here is our tree. Let us examine the inscriptions. Sally and John. This design was the last to be done. Sally and John is engraved here as a symbol of their love. Nothing of interest here. Closed.
Tengo llave y no. ¿Con qué abrimos? Ya.
Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Yes, it must be there. I need something.
Pala.
This shovel belongs to the cemetery workers.
You frighten me, Holmes.
I need something. This must be the grave. Dig quickly, Watson.
Very well, Holmes. Look, a metal box.
The lock on this box is rather sophisticated. This box comes from a bank. The criminals must have held on to it after a hold-up.
Bueno, la combinación se supone que debe ser esta. Bueno, aquí 75. Este. Bajamos. Bueno, entonces este. Este. Corrámoslo para acá. Pero voy a seleccionarlo. Ahí. $75. Bueno, ahora nos toca mover a ver, 75.23. Toca a ver cómo lo cuadramos. Aquí no, 26. A ver, ahora cambiamos el 68. Movemos para acá. Por el 34, el 68 por el 34, listo. A ver, bajamos este. Uy. 84 o bajamos y corremos este, corramos este. Eso es 78. Ahora tenemos que correr estos dos. Lo bajamos. A ver si podemos. Bueno, 78-23. Bueno, ahora un 54. 54. Listo, parece.
There we are. It is simplicity itself. A hammer covered in glass.
These candlesticks are undoubtedly stolen.
This key must be important to be hidden here.
Holmes, there is someone in that hut.
I saw Watson. Come, and keep your revolver at the ready just in case.
¿Dónde está la cabaña?
Open up. We're not the police. Do not be alarmed.
That's a strange way of reassuring someone. Holmes, they are children. My God, one of them is hurt.
What you want? Don't come any closer. Are you the police?
Don't be afraid. I am a doctor. I'm going to look at your friend's wound.
Wait, Watson. I've got some questions to ask these children.
This is urgent, Holmes. In this filthy place, the risk
Ay. Opa.
of infection is very high, and the wound could get worse with every second lost.
The immediate danger for these children is not so much the wound as Mr. Fletcher.
Who?
Look at the wound, Watson. It's thin and precise. It was made by a sharp, well-kept blade. Any other blade, less well-kept, would have torn the tissue around it, and its size would be irregular.
So what does that imply?
In this area, who would take such great care with a blade? A butcher, of course. and the only butcher in the area is Samuel Fletcher, who at this moment is replacing a window that has been forced open. He's a man to hold bludgers, as anyone around here will tell you.
The children are in danger.
A man as skillful with a knife as a butcher, and with a bad reputation to match, could easily strike a fatal blow by cutting the child's jugular. If he hasn't done it, it's surely because these little thieves broke into his shop at night to steal a piece of meat. The poor lighting in this area saved them. I can assure you that Mr. Fletcher has spent the day trying to trace these children, and if he finds them, wounds will be the least of their problems.
That's true. What do you want? Don't let the butcher find us.
Bueno, chantaje, curación.
Justice is sometimes harsh, young man. If the police hear about this breaking and entering, they will see Mr. Fletcher's side of the story.
No! Don't call the police! Please, mister! We don't want to end up in prison!
I'm looking for a certain Kurtz.
I can't tell you, mister.
In that case, I must take the side of justice. You and your brothers are thieves.
All right, don't call the police. Kurtz is a dangerous madman. He's called the Colonel round here. I heard he was in the Boer War in Africa. He lives in Batty Street next to the wine shop. The way he smells, he must be a good customer.
Good. Watson, see to the wound. Never mind about the police.
Kurtz vive en Batty Street junto a una vinoteca.
We must protect these children from that butcher, Holmes.
It won't be necessary. I've had dealings with Samuel Fletcher before now. He's not the monster I've made him out to be. If he had wanted to kill them, he would have done so, even in dim light. By wounding the little thief, he wanted to warn him never to set foot in his shop again. Forget Mr. Fletcher, Watson.
You mean you lied to frighten those poor children?
Exactly. Clever, wasn't it?
Well, mister, that's a mighty fine outfit you're wearing there. You stand out like a sore thumb, and that's no lie. Watch that you don't get it all dirtied up, but you'd be welcome to come back to my place. It's not far, and I'd sponge it down for you.
Don't go back to Janny's place. You'll get malaria.
Thank you, madam. I'm certain that you would make a very good job of it. That will not be necessary, however. But your thought was a kind one.
We'd best be leaving now, sir.
Here, please accept this sovereign as a token of my gratitude for your concern.
Well, I never. Thank you. That's right generous of you, my lordship.
You are very welcome, madam.
Madam, he calls me. Bless my garters. What a gent.
If you're ready now, sir.
Yes, let us go.
What a remarkable man, the Prince Woodville, to talk to such a woman as though she was an equal.
Let's find Batty Street. Whitechapel Street. We are in one of the main areas in the district.
A ver, ¿cómo es? Este. Bueno. No, esto no. Esto ya no. Esto aquí por este lado no. Woods vive en Battersea junto a una vinoteca.
Whitechapel Street. We are in one of the main areas in the district.
My God, Holmes, it's appalling. And the smell. But what can have happened here?
Stay calm, Watson. Take note of every detail and be careful not to move anything.
Very well, Holmes.
Bueno, a ver, vamos a revisar. Por aquí no hay nada. Por aquí tampoco.
An old photo. It's written to our comrade Jeremy Kurtz from Commando J. Malan, Bloemfontein, 1883.
Kurtz served as a Boer commando. He fought against his country.
A military badge of the 58th Infantry Regiment of Her Majesty and a letter stipulating Kurtz's exclusion from the unit. He served in 1881.
At that time, the regiment served in South Africa. Kurtz was in the Boer War.
A newspaper covering the war in South Africa. Kurtz must have been following the war with some interest.
The Boer War is abominable, and it still rages.
Bueno, por aquí no hay nada más.
Grapes! What are they doing there?
The dog's bowl is empty. The material on this tray is rather odd. A small burner. Small burnt balls.
A pipe with a strange smell.
There can be no doubt. Judging by the material on the tray and the pipe, the man smoked opium.
Opium? I doubt if this man could have made his drug here. He would have needed a real laboratory.
Let us look at our deduction board, Watson.
Bueno, sí, fumaba opio. Bueno. Aquí hay un instrumento para preparar opio. Bueno, que aquí no hay nada más. Bueno, vamos a examinar. Ay, está que este man se mete y no me deja pasar.
What a horrible wound. This part is in shreds. The skin tissue has decomposed, yet the death is recent.
The skin was deeply torn.
This part is in shreds. The skin tissue has decomposed, yet the death is recent.
Only a dog could inflict so deep a wound, but it appears that the wound was gnawed at afterwards. It is a dog bite. I can see the tooth marks.
What terrible wounds! The dogs must have been rabid.
This bandage is a day or two old, no more. This bandage is a day or two old, no more. Please take note, Watson.
The same finger that we found at the Bishop of Knightsbridge's house. Holmes!
Bueno. Listo. Ya quedó examinado todo. Que aquí ya no hay más para examinar. No. Vamos a revisar. Bueno, el hombre. Hay numerosos mordiscos en el cuerpo del hombre. Los perros. Hay numerosos mordiscos en el cuerpo de los perros. El hombre trataba mal a los perros y se le volvieron en contra. Los perros del hombre fueron torturados, fueron empleados para torturarlo. Creo que es esta. Instrumentos. Bueno, el dedo. Esto le falta un dedo. El perro se comieron el dedo de este hombre. El hombre se cortó el dedo. Este hombre es uno de los asesinos del obispo. Sí, señor. Sí. No. El hombre, bueno, a ver. Dedo aquí. Los perros. El hombre luchó salvajemente contra los perros, sí. Los perros. No. Los perros, el hombre ya, la pipa ya. ¿Me falta algo? Sí, para abajo. Instrumentos. Esto, ya. El dedo. Sí. Aquí me falta algo. Creo que falta algo.
A torn piece of a letter.
Creo que los responsables del comando Malan no aprecian sus métodos, los consideran muy expeditivos e incluso crueles. Estamos defendiendo a nuestro país, nuestra causa es sagrada y justa. Necesitamos combatientes honorables y motivados, no asesinos sedientos de riquezas. Aquí no hay lugar para oportunistas como usted.
It seems to be a letter of dismissal. Apparently our friend Kurtz served in both camps in South Africa and was never a colonel, but that doesn't surprise me.
A traitor, deserter, and a false colonel. What a charming gentleman.
Bueno, aquí falta algo, no, por aquí no. Aquí este.
The skin was deeply torn.
What a horrible wound. This part is in shreds. The skin tissue has decomposed, yet the death is recent.
Y ya... Aquí falta. ¿Qué hay por aquí? A ver.
Size 9. Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers. Size 9. Hobnail boots like those worn by labourers.
What a horrible wound.
Bueno. Que ya. No veo yo nada más para examinar aquí.
Someone wrapped some meat up in this newspaper. The blood is still fresh.
Bueno, ahora sí vamos a ver qué más podemos encontrar. A ver.
What do you think, Holmes?
Someone wrapped some meat up in this newspaper. The blood is still fresh. This is yesterday's newspaper. Someone brought food for the dogs, probably just before the fight broke out.
And just after they had been fed, they attacked a man to eat him. Incredible.
Bueno. Ahora sí, vamos a las deducciones de Klux. Perros, los perros. Ya voy. A los perros ya. A los perros les dieron de comer antes del asesinato. Los perros fueron envenenados.
My deduction chart is incomplete, Holmes. We are missing an important detail.
Let's return to the clinic and ask if our friend might lend us his morgue for 2 hours.
What are you going to do?
I'm torn between a nap and a picnic.
Oh, I've had enough, Holmes.
The next step of our investigation, Watson, leads us inevitably to a post-mortem. As you're well aware, in the instance where a body's vital organs no longer function, every minute is vital. Be quick now and procure the room while I arrange the transport.
Very well. I will see you later.
Bueno amigos, vamos a dejar este directo hasta acá. Vamos a guardar. Guardemos. Y entonces no olviden suscribirse a mi canal, activar la campanita, dar me gusta, comentar mis videos. Y nos vemos mañana a la misma hora por el mismo canal. Y como siempre les digo amigos, chao, 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 que descansen.